At this point, we've got the wire in the splenic vein. We're not going to advance it off camera because there's a risk of injuring the delicate splenic pulp. So we'll keep it in view. And now we're going to mag up again. And we're going to take some important steps to assure that we won't have difficulty advancing our systems across a fibrotic periportal region, which means I've never let go of the needle. I've never let it turn. I'm going to advance the outer sheath as much as possible. And I'm going to first do that by advancing the needle sheath. And then I'm going to advance the outer sheath, which will have its outer ring. And I'm going to try to get it to the portal vein. Now I'm going to re-advance the colpinto sheath, the needle sheath, sleeve, if you will, down so that it serves as a dilator. And now it's extending a little bit beyond the outer sheath. And we know that by the distance over here as well. So over that, I'm going to drive the outer sheath again with the goal of getting everything butted up against the portal vein entry site. So it's a lot of firm pushing. I don't have to get the colpinto sheath into the portal vein, but I do want to get it pushed up as much as possible. And I'm just urging it forward. It's very important not to take the needle out. I'm not a big fan of removing the needle and using a diagnostic catheter to find your way down, because the needle provides a lot of firm stability to prevent things from backing up. So we've got it down there pretty firmly against it. That's as far as it goes. I can feel it stop. Let's lessen the magnification. Next thing we're going to do is work to get our needle out. So we'll do this step by step. We'll first take out the torque device, and I'm going to firmly pinch the guide wire so that it doesn't slip between my fingers. And then we're going to remove the needle, but focus upon keeping the sheath in place and also keep track of our guide wire. So I'm going to keep the needle sheath in place. I'm going to ask for my colleague to back out the needle. So go ahead and reach around. Yep. We're going to pinch pull. I have the guide wire. Guide wire is in place, and the most important thing that I can be doing here is keeping the sheath pushed down. I can't emphasize that enough. So that's rule number 2, keep the sheath down. In this case, it's pushed up against the portal vein entry site. We're taking our time. The wire hasn't moved a stitch. Next thing is to make sure that we don't cut a finger as the needle emerges and that the wire doesn't slip back.
Starting to release.
Mm-hmm. You can feel the needle kind of exiting as its curve gets into the hub. The wire is released to you. And as soon as it comes out, I'm going to bend it against the hub and around my fingers. And I've got the wire. Yep, you can remove that in its entirety. Now at this point there may be blood coming out. That's a good sign, because that means that we've got it at or maybe even in the portal vein. We're going to take the black catheter, or we could use the MPB. It's dealer's choice. At this point we're going to thread a catheter into the splenic vein. And keeping that sheath pushed up against it vastly increases the likelihood that this will leap across that little tight spot, won't back up our system into the tract, or even worse, into the hepatic vein. Okay, you've got the wire, and you can see the tip. Let's keep it taut. A little bit of momentum is important here. Jump across, and there's our jump. Okay, you know, I think I'd like a longer catheter. Let's go back to that black one. This was a, I think this was a 65. So we'll go to the Van Andel. Okay, can I ask you to back that out? Okay, but we've also assured ourselves that we can get that 5 French catheter across. Go ahead. No reason to give up access to the splenic vein. Great. I've got the wire pinched against the hub and around my fingers. Nothing worse than having a hydrophilic guide wire come out across your fingers. My favorite wires for entry are a hydrophilic wire with a long tapered segment. So that comes through various brands, be they black or white. So at this point, an 80 or 100 centimeter long catheter is well suited. Wire is there. And again, I'm going to leap across. I've worked hard to keep my sheath position, and I can see this device making the characteristic curve of the splenic vein. We can center a little bit more to the middle, show us a little bit more left. That's wonderful. And now I'm deep in the splenic vein, so we can remove the guide wire. Mm-hmm.